Today's video we're going to go over base locations on different maps, and I'm going to show you for 5 different maps. Today we're going to go Washington, PEI, Russia, Limestone, and Escalation, 5 of the most popular maps that there currently are in Unturned. Now for each map I am only going to show one location, but in the future I can do this again for the same map but for a different location. So let's get started. So the first map we're going to go over is Washington. Now Washington does have a lot of different base locations, but in my opinion one of the absolute best one is currently over here where I currently am, which is between Bellevue, Kamano, and Clearwater Campground. Now, not a lot of people actually come here. I do feel like this is one of the most unvisited locations in the map, and there's a lot of locations that are close to you so that you can loot. First of all, we have ourselves Seattle. From Seattle, you can get yourself mega zombie kills, you can get yourself high tier military loot, all types of loot. Then there's also this military convoy over here, which is also another military area, and you can get some really good loot. Over here, there is that little dead zone, which is kind of useless, but you don't really need to go to there unless you need, for example, chemicals. And also there is the helicopter crash very close, which is another mega zombie spawn. So very close to you, there's literally everything. If you want to cross the sea, there's Scorpion 7 as well. And if you want to go to military base, it's not that far either. So I do think that this location where I currently am is one of the best locations ever. Now keep in mind, Washington is a small map, so no matter where you build, you are going to be found nonetheless. But for a quick progression, I recommend going over here. A lot of people do think that building close to military base is the best location to build, but I actually recommend against that because obviously a lot of people will go over there. The next location we're going to go to is on PEI, which is over here where I currently am, right behind Pirate Cove. Now over here is a hill, which building on a hill is actually a really good idea because you'd always have height advantage. Now the reason why I would think that building over here is a good idea is because PEI, in my opinion, is split into 2 parts. The right part is completely useless and the left part is basically all you would need to loot in order to progress. And a lot of the players on PEI don't even bother going to the right side at all. Most of the players on PEI, they only go to Summerside Military Base, Confederation Bridge, or Holman Island. So what I do recommend is that you build somewhere around here where I currently am, because over here not a lot of people will actually go to over there. And Holman Isle is very close. Charlottetown is also pretty close, which is police. There's also the farms. There's also the prison very close, and if you want to go to military base, it's not that far either, but I do think that this is one of the safer areas as well. Obviously, you can build on the right side of the map, but I don't recommend doing that because over there, literally you need to cross the whole island every single time to get any decent loot. The best loot that you can get from this side of the island is farmer guns and police guns. So I don't recommend going over there, but over here I do feel like it's always one of the best locations that I build on PEI. Now each location that I'm telling you for every map is locations that I personally like because I do play on these maps quite a lot. And I do feel like these locations usually tend to not get raided instantly. They do tend to survive for a bit, so that is why I recommend over here. The next map we're going to go over is Russia, and for Russia I do recommend one of my favorite base locations is all the way up here. Now, it does take you a while to obviously get up here since it's Russia, and you spawn at the bottom of the map, and basically I'm showing you guys that you have to cut to the top of the map, but I always find whenever I build here, it's one of the best locations that you can build. Now, over here, the reason why is, first of all, Crovey Estate is close. You can get some good loot from there, including calling cards, and the Hummingbird also spawns there. Over there is a military tunnel, which you can get some really good loot as well. There's the unmarked dead zone, there's Silo 22, and if you go further down, Firewatch base is there, and you can find a lot of Firewatch towers, getting yourself filters and gas masks quite easily. Now Russia is a pretty large map, you can build almost anywhere, but whenever I build over here, I always find that my base lasts for a while. Now you can, for example, build right above the rocks over here, and right below you, you would get yourself the convoy, so when someone is looting it, you can easily just kill them, and when someone is shooting, you would realize that someone's there. So that's one location I recommend for Russia. The next map we're going to go to is the latest map, which is Limestone. Now, till now, I've built myself a few locations, and one of my favorite locations is currently where I am, right over here. Close to Cedar Estates, close to Shady Hollow, and close to Warden Complex. Now, this whole area that I'm showing you right now is usually where I build in. The reason is Cedar Estates, it's very common to get filters. Shady Hollow, you can get yourself some really good loot when you get a crowbar. There's this military tunnel over here, which you can get some good loot. And over there's a military keycard area, and you can get yourself a lot of chests that you can open with the crowbar. Black Creek Mill is a construction area, and Warden Complex is a military area. So literally, with just these 4 locations, you can get every single item that you would need in limestone. Over there, there's also the overpass, which is a really good location as well. So I do feel like this area is the best place to build in limestone. We have ourselves is Escalation. Now, Escalation is probably the most map that I've played recently, and I always do well whenever I build around here, behind walk-in. So usually what I do is I build somewhere around here where my mark is. Reason why is walk-in is not really a good town for people to go to. Not a lot of people would come to explore behind walk-in, but actually walk-in is not really that bad. But obviously the main reason is not because of walk-in. The main reason is because of this tunnel right over here. There's also this underground bunker right over here. You can get yourself a bunch of military loot as well. We are kind of close to lock. We are close to the Fletcher Island airdrops that happen there as well, so you can easily counter them. And we are close to Artemis platform. When you get yourself a tier 2 outfit and you hear shots going on over there, it's always a good idea for you to try to counter, getting yourself extra biohazard outfits and getting yourself extra loot. So this is probably where I usually like to build the most. Somewhere where I'm about to show you right now, over here. So that is basically my top location for each map. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have built in any of these locations that I just showed you. And let me know if you did well or not. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.